We are raised on a single powerful lie. We are told that the solution to our anxiety, the cure for our stress, and the key to our freedom is a higher number on a paycheck. We spend decades chasing the six-figure dream, believing that once we cross that magical threshold, the struggle will end. But walk into the office of a senior executive earning $250,000 a year, and you'll often find a person who is more financially fragile than the intern making $40,000. Meet Mark. Mark is 35 years old. 3 years ago, he was earning $60,000. He lived in a modest apartment, drove a used car, and felt okay. Then the big promotion came. Now, Mark earns $140,000. On paper, Mark is rich. In reality, Mark is drowning. He has more money flowing into his bank account than ever before, yet he has less freedom than he did when he was broke. Welcome to the high salary trap. Today, we're going to deconstruct the invisible architecture of this prison. We're going to look at the math, the psychology, and the hidden costs that turn a high income into a high-speed treadmill. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to break the cycle before you spend the best years of your life working for stuff you don't even like. The high salary trap doesn't happen overnight. It is a slow, silent predator. It's called lifestyle creep, and it is fueled by a psychological phenomenon known as hedonic adaptation. When Mark got his $80,000 raise, he didn't wake up and decide to ruin his life. He made logical choices. He moved into a nicer neighborhood because it's safer and closer to work. He upgraded his car because he needed something reliable for clients. He started buying higher quality clothes because he had to look the part. But here is what Mark didn't realize. Every time you upgrade your life, you establish a new baseline of survival. When Mark earned $60,000, his survival cost was $45,000. He had a $15,000 margin. He felt safe. Now, Mark earns $140,000, but his survival cost has ballooned to $135,000. His luxury apartment, his German SUV, his country club membership, and his high-end subscriptions have become fixed costs. Mark is now a 97% dependent organism. He requires 97% of his massive income just to keep the lights on in his expensive life. He is no longer working for himself. He is working to maintain the mark that he created. If his income drops by even 5%, his entire world collapses. This is not wealth. This is high-income poverty. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why does Mark buy the $1,200 watch when a $20 Casio tells better time? Why does he pay $4,000 a month for a mortgage in a zip code he's barely in because he's always at the office? It's the status tax. We live in a culture that confuses spending with success. We are taught to use our money as a signaling device. We buy things to tell the world, I am a winner. I am important. I have made it. But status is the most expensive hobby in the world. The problem with playing the status game is that there is no finish line. There is always someone with a bigger boat, a faster car, or a more prestigious zip code. Minimalists understand something that high earners forget. The most expensive thing you can own is a high opinion from people you don't even like. When you stop paying the status tax, your income suddenly feels 10 times larger. Mark doesn't need a $140,000 salary. He needs to stop buying the version of himself that he thinks others want to see. Let's talk about the math of ownership. Everything you own costs you money twice. The first cost is the purchase price. This is what most people look at. The second cost is the life tax. This is what stays hidden. Take Mark's new luxury SUV. The purchase price was $70,000, but the life tax includes 1. Storage cost. It takes up space in a garage that he pays for. 2. Maintenance cost. The oil changes are $300 instead of $50. The tires are $2,000 a set. 3. Insurance and taxes. Higher value means higher premiums. 4. Opportunity cost. This is the big one. If Mark had invested that $70,000 in a simple index fund, In 20 years, it could have grown to over $320,000. Mark didn't just buy a car. He bought a car instead of 5 years of early retirement. He traded his 60-year-old self's freedom for a 35-year-old's leather seats. Every object in your house is a claim on your future time. Every gadget, every piece of furniture, and every square foot of unused space is a tiny anchor keeping you tied to your desk. High earners don't realize they are building a museum of their own labor.
Now, let's look at Sarah. Sarah earns $55,000. She's an average earner by societal standards.
But Sarah is a financial genius. Sarah never moved out of her modest apartment. She still drives her reliable hatchback. She doesn't have a status tax. Her total expenses are $30,000 a year. Sarah is saving $25,000 every single year. In terms of optionality, Sarah is the wealthiest person in the room. If Sarah's boss is toxic, she can leave. If Sarah wants to travel for 6 months, she can go. If Sarah wants to start a business, she has the runway. Mark, with his $140,000 salary, has zero optionality. He is a slave to his monthly payments. He is one HR meeting away from total disaster. Sarah owns her time. The bank owns Mark's. Wealth is not the ability to buy things. Wealth is the ability to say no. No to a job you hate. No to a city that drains you. No to a lifestyle that bores you. Mark has a high income, but Sarah has a high life. If you want to escape the high salary trap, you must do the one thing that society hates. You must define enough. Most people never do this. Their goal is always more. And more is a horizon that moves away as you walk toward it. You need to sit down and ask, what is the cost of my ideal life? Not the life in the magazines, but the life that actually makes me happy. Is it a $2,000 apartment or a $1,000 one? Is it a new car every 3 years or a used one every 10? Once you define enough, any dollar earned above that line becomes a tool for freedom. If Mark had defined his enough at $60,000, his $80,000 raise wouldn't have gone to a BMW. It would have gone to an investment account that would have made him a millionaire in less than a decade. Here's a practical rule you can implement today. It's the 50% raise policy. Every time you get a raise, a bonus, or a tax refund, you are allowed to spend 50% of it on your lifestyle. Go ahead. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Buy the better shoes. Go on the nicer vacation. But the other 50% must be moved immediately into an investment or debt paydown account before you ever see it in your checking account. This creates a system where your wealth grows faster than your lifestyle. It allows you to enjoy your success while ensuring that you aren't digging a deeper hole. If Mark had followed this rule, he would still have a nicer life, but he would also have a $40,000 annual surplus, building his freedom. High earners are often value blind. They see a price tag and ask, can I afford this? Minimalists ask, what is the cost per use? A $500 designer jacket you wear 5 times costs $100 per wear. A $1,000 high-quality mattress you use for 10 years costs 27 cents per night. The high salary trap is filled with high-cost, low-use items. Designers' clothes, expensive kitchen gadgets, hobbies that last 2 weeks. When you start calculating cost per use, your house starts to empty out and your bank account starts to fill up. Stop buying things that cost you $50 per hour to own. Start investing in things that provide high value for every dollar spent. Or better yet, start investing in assets that pay you to own them. Breaking the high salary trap requires a psychological shift. You have to stop viewing your salary as a score and start viewing it as a resource. A score is something you want to be as high as possible so you can win. A resource is something you manage efficiently so you can achieve a goal. Your goal isn't to be the person who earns the most. Your goal is to be the person who needs the least to be happy while having the most in reserve. I have reached a level of financial independence that gives me the power to walk away from any situation that no longer aligns with my values. It's the point where your boss needs you more than you need the paycheck. When you reach that point, the power dynamic of your life shifts. You work because you want to, not because you have to. You produce better work. You are less stressed. You are a better partner, a better parent, and a better human being.
The high salary trap is comfortable. It smells like new car leather and looks like granite countertops, but it is a trap nonetheless. You can have the big house and the high-end life, but you must realize the price. You are trading your most precious asset, your time, to maintain a pile of stuff that will eventually end up in a landfill. Or you can choose a different path. You can define enough. You can ignore the status tax. You can invest in your freedom. The person earning $50,000 with 2 years of expenses in the bank is a free man. The person earning $500,000 with 2 weeks of expenses in the bank is a servant. Which one do you want to be? I'm the Orvin, and this is Orvin Invest. If you're ready to stop working for your stuff and start working for your freedom, hit the subscribe button. Let's build a life that actually belongs to us. See you in the next one.